एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम करेंगे इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ कुबला खान पोएम। ये यूनिट 30 है और ब्लॉक 6 है और MEG 1 है। लेट अस स्टार्ट इंटरप्रिटेशन। अपेरेंटली द पोएम इज़ अ फ्रैगमेंट और अ सीरीज ऑफ फ्रैगमेंट्स। जो दिखता है ना, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि पोएम जो है ना वो अधूरी है, पूरी नहीं हुई है। First, it is about a palace the poet had heard of, and then it is about a singer the poet had dreamt of, and finally it is about a poet he had wistfully imagined of. Wistfully means without any joy. But it can never be called an incoherent poem. पर इसको जो है ना unclear poem नहीं बोला जा सकता, मतलब clear poem है ये अगर हम इसको अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे तो। Rather, it is one of the most balanced, methodical and concentrated poems in English literature. What is the poem? Then what is the poem about? Many critics ask. The simple answer is it is about poetry. The later part of the poem is very clear in its purpose. The earlier part requires symbolic interpretation. Symbols बहुत ज़्यादा हैं इसमें, इसको समझना पड़ेगा पोएम को ना अच्छे से, और जितनी बार इसको पढ़ेंगे ना उतनी बार समझ में आती है कोई भी चीज़। कुबला खान desired a pleasure dome to be built in Xanadu. The abruptness with which proper names are introduced reminds us of John Donne with the same unabashed deftness. Unabashed means bold या confident ना, skillful, इस तरह के deftness. Coleridge takes us immediately into the heart of the matter. We are immediately transported to the strange and complex world of artistic creativity. The word decree is important. Decree means order. The word order is very important. It includes desire, order, determination. Xanadu, the name, suggests remoteness, as if there is something exotic, mysterious, desire-evoking, thought-provoking in life. Elf flows through Xanadu, and Elf is a sacred river. Its flow through the garden in the quest for the ultimate reality, the desire of the moth for the star in art. It goes through mysterious caves matlab, and finally falls into a sunless sea. The sunless sea is death, where life finally ends. A particular area with a perimeter of 10 miles is fenced in with walls and towers, and within that boundary there are gardens and small winding rivers. The trees in the gardens bear fragrant flowers. The forests are as old as the hills on which they have grown. It refers to the beauty and agelessness of art, its universal validity and charm. But the most remarkable thing here is a deep, mysterious gorge that runs down the slope of a green hill across a wood of cedar trees. It is a wild and awe-inspiring place, as holy and bewitched as the one haunted by a woman wandering about in search of her demon lover in the dim light of a waning moon. The poet creates a supernatural world to suggest the depths of art, areas where art ushers us in and we are terrified or benumbed. This chasm may be the unconscious of the human mind, the reservoir of our memories and impressions and dreams. It is a savage place, beyond the reach of knowledge, beyond the territory science is capable or qualified to explore. Deep down the chasm, a turmoil is going on ceaselessly, as if some thick liquid is boiling there. It is like the breathing of the earth. Thick, fast, thick pants suggest the sexual act. It is about the creative process of the earth. Water is ejected, Water is ejected out of the earth's belly in the form of a fountain, and with it huge boulders come out like pattering hailstones or scattered grain when the thresher beats it under his weak wave under his wave to separate it from the chaff. The fountain takes the form of the sacred river Elf. Pure poetry is something divine. Its journey is from the deep recesses of the human mind to heavenly bliss. It is born of the panting tumult, means creative urge. It flows through a fertile land. The creative process है ये, and it is sacred, purifying means, and finally it is lost in oblivion means lifeless ocean, and it gives a vital message that however lovely and divine art may be, it has the vulnerability of being मतलब weakness of being destroyed because wars are inevitable. The ancestral voice is the voice of human experience. The strange dichotomy in man is that on the one hand he is capable of creating art per excellence, and on the other he fights like his primitive ancestor with his neighbor and fellow man and turns beastly, brutal, and destructive. In intellect, he can rise very high, but in morality, he can stoop lowest to the low. He has raised great monuments and he has also felled them, means cut down them, या उनको गिरा दिया गया. Wars have raised beautiful civilizations to dust. The shadow of the dome of the pleasure palace fell on the waves of Elf, and it covered half the breadth of the stream. The stream looked lovely, half of it breadthwise in shadow and half in light. In the sound of the waves of the river, two notes mingles, the gurgling sound of the fountain and the deep somber means dull note that came from the depth of the caves. The entire construction of the palace was a miracle of mixture of opposites. Its top was flooded with sunshine, but foundation its foundation lay in the caves of the ice. Great art is like this. It embodies the essence of life, and life is a complete complex of contradictory experiences. In Kubla Khan's palace, Coleridge finds ideal art. Then the poet moves to the second part of the poem. In the first few lines of the second half, he refers to his dream in which he had the vision of an Abyssinian damsel means girl, playing on her dulcimer एक music instrument है, and singing to Mount Abora. And in the following portion of the second half, the poet expresses his wish to recreate the perfection of the Abyssinian maid's song in his own poetry. Obviously, in the mind of the poet, both Kubla Khan's palace and the damsel's songs are perfection of art. A poet who can achieve this perfection brings about a great change in society. In the poet's mind come the picture of saga, like inspiring medieval singer of the Middle East, on hearing whom people would come out of their stale customs and dead habits and be ushered into a new life, a new awareness. Such a poet with his flashing eyes and floating hair is like the Pied Piper of हेमलाइन. ये करेक्टर है एक लेजेंड स्टोरी का. On hearing, so such a poet with his flashing eyes and floating hair is like the Pied Piper of Hamelin, on hearing whose flute children would leave their homes to follow his path, however unknown and adventurous it might be. The poet wants to be one like him, like his contemporaries. Coleridge also wants to be a revolutionary, a preacher and a messiah, means मसीहा बोलते हिंदी में messiah. But he knows that the conservative people are afraid of any big change. They would like to continue in their life of pig satisfaction. So they would try to restrict the dreamer from doing what he can. They would like to make him non-functional by using the magical method of waving a circle around him thrice. They know that the poet is divinely inspired and he has taken Amrit that makes one immortal. Like अमृत हिंदू धर्म की बात की गई है ये. Like Keats Nightingale is not born from death. So in all the three pictures, Kubla Khan, the Abyssinian maid and the visionary poet, Coleridge sees the perfection of art. In the first picture, it is art that best reflects life with all its complexities and contradictions. In the second picture, it is art that transcends, go beyond heavenly life and becomes celestial. And in the third picture, it is art that changes life by infusing new ideas and new hopes in the mind of man. Kubla Khan, therefore, is a poem about the nature and function of art. There is hardly anything that is fragmentary about this poem. It is a well-knit, highly concentrated poem with a clear point of reference. Chalo, thank you so much. Please subscribe my channel. Next video में we are going to do as a romantic poem and the supernatural elements जो इसमें हैं. Okay, thank you so much.